What is going on, everyone? I am sorry for the delay. I am back from the wedding in Maine, and here we go. The Sixers made a splash. The Sixers made moves at the deadline, and where do we sit now as Sixers fans? Alright, here we have it. I mean, this is interesting. This is a new Sixers squad, and Elton Brand made moves, the Sixers made moves, and it's interesting. So let's just dissect how this all played out when the NBA free agency started, and this is just in regards to the Sixers. Instantly, bang, you hear the news, JJ Redick is gone. He's going out to New Orleans for 2 years, and listen, right from the get-go, you realize the Sixers are not going to run it back to the full extreme, and everyone complains that JJ Redick can't defend, but he is a legitimate sharpshooter, and he was a serious difference maker with this offense, considering we ran so many dribble handoffs with him, so he was a huge portion of what we ran offensively. So losing JJ Redick right off the bump was a little bit disappointing, to be completely honest with you, in my perspective. But then you hear the news that the Sixers re-signed Tobias Harris for 5 years, 180, super close to the max. It wasn't the full max technically, but very close to it, and at that moment, I was very happy that we at least re-signed him. Sure, a little hefty, I understand that. You overpay the guy. He's 26 years old, and I'm a firm believer in this guy will be solid moving forward, especially losing JJ Redick, and another piece that I will get into in a moment. So, with the new role of Tobias Harris, I think he's going to flourish and be a different type of player in this new role for this upcoming season. So I am very pumped that Tobias Harris ends up signing. But at that moment, I also believe that there was going to be a move for Jimmy Butler, because I didn't think we were going to bring back everyone. Mike Scott resigns. Awesome. Love that move. A great addition to the bench. And he's a guy that embraced the hell out of this city. Totally cool with Mike Scott. You need veteran players and legitimate players to come back. So I'm pumped for that. So the Jimmy Butler news breaks that we are going for a sign and trade with the Miami Heat. Lots of different reports right now. A ton. Did he get offered the full max by the Philadelphia 76ers? Did Elton Brand from the jump realize, listen, I don't even want to get involved with this. We're looking for a sign and trade to begin with. Did Jimmy Butler not want to be here? There's so many different reports right now. I don't know the true answer, and I think we will learn more as this offseason goes forward. But the moral of the story is it doesn't really matter. What matters is we send Jimmy Butler to Miami, and in return, we get Josh Richardson. Now, a lot of people love this name and think he's going to be this awesome player when you look at the stats, and it's just like Jimmy Butler. Listen, good defender, good perimeter defender, and his stats last year was about 16.6 points per game, about 4 assists per game. He shot 35.7% from 3, so yeah, he can shirk it, but he does need to get better at shooting the basketball. He's not a JJ Redick from 3. He's not a Jimmy Butler. He's a 6'6 guard who can defend from the perimeter, but he needs to add to his game. Good player, nice player. I'm going to go to the extent of nice player, and he definitely helps this ball club. But when you take a look at these numbers, which a lot of people do after the trade happens and sees correlation, it's a different style of play. It doesn't relate to what Jimmy Butler provided you. It's a totally different player. I like the move, though. It makes sense to sign and trade rather than lose Jimmy Butler. Josh Richardson is going to be a key piece of this team, without a doubt. I would love to get another shooting guard and have Josh Richardson come off the bench, or vice versa, have someone else to come off the bench for Josh Richardson when his minutes are done with as the starter and he goes to the bench. But I don't know what else is really available at this moment of me recording, so we're going to have to see how it all plays out. But just know that Josh Richardson is a good player. He's a good perimeter defender, but don't get too carried away on what you expect out of Josh Richardson. It's not the worst, though. Let's be real. It's not the worst, but don't expect an obnoxious two guard either. There's a reason why he's, been moved around a little bit. So, with that being said, this is when the big bomb happens, right around the same time as the Jimmy Butler move. The Sixers signed Al Horford for 4 years, $109 million. He's 33 years old, so we have him to 37. It's really only $97 million guaranteed. The other $12 million has a lot to do with if we win the championship and the championship bonuses. So $97 million, and when you look at the AAV, it's a lot cheaper than what you would have paid Jimmy Butler on the max. I do love this signing. He is 33, and we have him for the back end of his career, but for what he did all season long and all postseason long against Joel Embiid in the past, I love this move. He's a veteran player, and I think it's going to help this team tremendously. What it comes down to is this defense. The defense for the Sixers is going to be insanity. We're long. We can defend. It just comes down to who is going to be the guy. Who is going to be the reason why we win the ball game late. Is it going to be Tobias Harris? Realistically, my personal opinion, it's got to be Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. Someone has to take the next step. Someone has to be, out of those two, the guy. The guy. These players have to take the next step in their career. We have a nice roster. We're going to be able to defend. We're going to be hard. We're going to be long. Really, we're going to be a hard team to play against. We're going to be a long team when it comes to defending. But someone's got to step up and take over. Jimmy Butler had that role. He was the guy to go to. He would score you that bucket. He would go off in the fourth. Someone needs to do that with this ball club. And who is it at this moment? We don't know. Is Tobias Harris going to be able to be that guy if he plays the 3 instead of the 4, which he played last year? Maybe. I think the offense is going to open up tremendously for Tobias Harris with the flow of this, without Jimmy Butler having to be primary ball handler at times, and with him being a different option now that J.J. Redick's gone. I think that Tobias Harris is going to have a different role and surprise some people for what he's able to do. I firmly do believe that. Now, you ask me, do you like this roster? Absolutely. The starting 5 of Ben Simmons, Richardson at the 2, Tobias at the 3, Al Horford at the 4, and Embiid at the 5. That's awesome. Is it better? Is it better than Jimmy Butler and bringing it back? I don't think it is, but it's definitely not a bad scenario. This could go way south if you lost Jimmy Butler, lost Tobias Harris, lost J.J. Redick. Really, this could have changed everything. Our outcome is solid. Our outcome is not bad whatsoever, and we're in a good position to still be very competitive and at the top of the Eastern Conference, no matter what Kawhi Leonard does. I love the move. I do. For what it was, I love the move. Would I like Jimmy Butler? Yeah. Something makes me believe that there were some internal problems. There's some reports that Jimmy Butler hated Brett Brown, and there's some reports that Elton Brand just didn't feel it. Like, they didn't really feel the connection between the two. They tried it. There was some not such great relationships involved, and they decided, hey, let's just not do it. There's reports that we did offer the 5 years, 190, but Jimmy Butler didn't want to do it. There's so many different reports, but I have to think that there was some sort of issue and some sort of reason why this didn't go down. Just has to happen. It had to happen that way. I don't know what that is yet. I think it'll eventually come out, but it had to happen. Something had to have happened. I think Jimmy Butler is a different type of player. He's a baller. He's a mean dude. He's got that mindset to finish out games. We're going to miss that part of it. Someone needs to make sure they step up and be that guy. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. There's a lot of people upset, disappointed. There's a lot of people happy that Jimmy Butler's out of here. I even stated before this all started, it could be a blessing in disguise if Jimmy Butler doesn't re-sign here with that long contract. I know Al Horford looks a little hefty, and it is, sure it is, but it's not so bad AAV-wise annually compared to what Jimmy Butler is, and he provides a great role with this team. Now, he can start at the 4, and when Embiid gets off the court, we can limit his minutes more, and Al Horford can slide to the 5, so he can provide that backup center role. I don't know if he's going to be able to play an obnoxious amount of minutes based off of his age, but he should be able to provide that spark without a doubt and provide a legitimate big man. If you want to put Mike Scott at the 4, then Al Horford can play that 5 role when Embiid's off the court. If you want to sit Embiid for a game due to load management during a regular season, there's a legitimate defender, a legitimate big man to step in there. And one thing this tells me, how bad was Boston's locker room? Because the offer wasn't anything crazy different, and he declined Boston. There had to have been such a big problem in that locker room for him to come to the legitimate rival of the Boston Celtics and the Sixers. That's a crushing blow if you're a Celtics fan, and I wonder what it's going to be like when he comes into that TD Garden for a game. He's going to get booed. He's a great player, though. He's a great veteran player, and I think he's going to teach Embiid a lot. It's going to be interesting, and I'm intrigued. Without a doubt, I am intrigued. I'm a fan of it. Would I have liked Jimmy Butler to stay here? Absolutely. I would have loved that. I think that would have made this team more legit, but I'm okay with where we're at, and it's not the worst case scenario in the world. I'm intrigued. We can get a little deeper maybe. Add some players with what money we have left, which isn't an obnoxious amount, but we can provide something to just get deeper. And let's see how it all plays out. But wow, what a day. What a day for the NBA free agency. There's obviously going to be more that keeps continuing to grow. There's a bunch of news with Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and I'll get into that without a doubt down the stretch here as I just got home from the wedding in Maine. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Do you like our old roster more? Would you have went a different route? Did you want Jimmy Butler? Are you okay with Elton Brand's move? How do you think about Al Horford and that contract at his age? Do you like the defense that we're going to be able to bring to the table? Who's going to be our guy? There's a lot of questions on the table. I want to hear them down below. Thank you for watching. See you next time.